guys, and welcome to my review of Sexless episode 9 season 3, and the name of this episode is Secrets and Mimosas. Yeah, so this episode picks up where the last episode left off, which is Noli at home kind of processing the whole Brandon debacle, the whole marriage debacle. And she gets on her laptop, sends a message to her professor saying, hey, I sent my paper, did you receive it? And so they kind of chat back and forth. Now, I knew on the last episode when she was chatting back and forth with her professor, I was like, okay, it's going to be something going on. Because the professor was just too cute. I was like, okay. So, and then why do we need to see the professor? So I knew Black and Sexy TV was getting ready to take us somewhere with this professor. I knew it. But they started chatting back and forth. The professor pretty much stays within the lines of, of what's professional. However, you could tell clearly by some of the questions or like, are you okay? You can tell he's flirting. She's clearly flirting. And so... yeah, so we're going to see what that is. Next, we go to the scene with Farrah and Justin. And so they're in bed, and Justin is, being affectionate with her, and she calls him Cassie, which is totally fine with him. It doesn't matter to him at all. She's very embarrassed, and, she's very Farrah. Y'all know how Farrah is, right? So she's very Farrah, very, oh my gosh, very, all that. So she's embarrassed. He tells her not to be embarrassed. It's not a big deal. Quite frankly, he likes it. So then, they finally get around to the whole call me Cassie thing. He wants her to call him Cassie, so he's cool with it. Okay. So Farrah tries to approach the conversation about, so what exactly are we? What will we define our relationship as? And he's like, there's no need to define it. I'm cool with us not calling it anything. After all, as he's already advised, he's pan. He advised that in a previous episode that, he's fluid. He just kind of likes whatever he likes. So no need to call anything. And so she goes along and says she's fine with that too. She's just happy to be there. So they're both seeing other people, and everything is cool. Everything is seemingly cool. This scene made me actually have a better appreciation for Stacey. And y'all already know I really don't care for this judgmental Stacey that we've gotten of late. I don't really care for her. But this scene gives me an appreciation for Stacey because it's almost like we got two extremes, right? We got Farrah and the pan guy who, is just like everything goes, no labels on anything, do what you want, in and out, doesn't matter. And then you got Stacey over here who is like, pro-life, and you got to have some principles and some morals, and what that is by her definition. You got these two totally different perspectives, and so I think that's kind of healthy actually, because I think that also imitates like real life. You don't want to kind of get caught up in all of just one view, right? So I kind of appreciate Stacey's character more, especially when I think about it in context of what's going on with Farrah and Justin and Cassie and the other person whose name escapes me right now. It's kind of good to have a little balance. So then we go back to Noli talking with her professor. So again, they're just, she's like, well, what's my grade? And, how did I do? The flirting. They're flirting, okay? And so, that conversation must have gotten really good to Noli. It got so good to Noli, she had to take her bonnet off and start fluffing out her fro, which is still fantastic. That fro is just everything, okay? It's just everything. We see you, Noli. We know what's up, but girl, you deserve to have some fun. Just, hopefully it doesn't turn into anything crazy, but, What we've been waiting for with this episode is the breakfast or the brunch. Stacey arrives first, and she tries to get Noli to kind of give her a heads up. She wants Noli to basically tell her, what's up with the girls and how they view me right now. Because, of course, nobody's elfing with her at all. So she's trying to fill her out. I guess she's trying to prepare herself. She already knows, it's going to be tense. But so she was trying to get some information out of Noli. And so Noli tries to explain to her that, they're upset, and they're upset for good reason. And so, Stacy's immediate reaction to that is that she doesn't understand it. She defends herself, and she's like, well, I'm just honest. I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings. I'm just honest. And if you don't want my opinion, you should not ask for my opinion. And so then Noli's response to that was basically, well, even if people ask you for your opinion, you shouldn't. She's like, well, should I lie? And she's like, no. Okay, so I had to go back and do some research, because I'm like, I don't recall anybody asking Stacy for her opinion, but let me go back and check the receipts, because the bottom line is, if Wendy had said, give me some advice on what should I do with this pregnancy, I don't know what to do, or if Farrah had said, I'm not really sure about what's going on with my sexual preference, I'm feeling confused, give me some advice, and she gave the advice or gave her perspective as she did in these episodes, I would agree with her. Whether it's crappy, you didn't like it, you thought, hey, you could have been a little bit more sympathetic, or whatever the case would be, I would agree with her that you asked. Okay, so I said, I don't recall anybody asking, but let me go back and do some research and check these receipts and see exactly what happened. So in episode 305, okay, because that's where all of this happened, Wendy did not ask Stacy for any advice about what she should do with her pregnancy. She simply told her she was pregnant, and she also told her that it was too much for her. She just couldn't do this, and that's when she went full pro-life, baby on the picket sign, yeah. And with Farrah did not ask her anything about her sexual preference, what she's exploring right now with herself. She went in, Stacy started going in on Cassie about how she didn't like her, how she was worried about Farrah because she felt like Cassie was a bad influence, because until Cassie, she had never said anything about even liking women, so what's all this about, she did everything with Farrah except for put a cross on her with some holy oil. She did everything. So, Stacy, sorry, no. Nobody even asked you for your opinion before you became so judgmental. So nope, baby girl, you're gonna have to try something else, because that one doesn't work. Everybody arrives at the breakfast and nobody's talking, everybody's eating, tension's high. So of course Stacy says, how long we gonna do this shit? And nobody responds to that either. And at this point, I'm waiting, because what I was anticipating with this episode is Wendy really going all the way in on her. But that didn't happen. And so, nobody responded to her question. They just continued eating. Noli got up to clear the table. Wendy said, I'll help you. That left Farrah and Stacy together. And, Stacy apologized to Farrah about being so judgmental. Farrah accepted her apology. They hugged it out. All is well with the world with Farrah and Stacy. And when Noli and Wendy rejoins them, they drink some more mimosas, and they start talking about natural hair, and they're saying like, okay, celebrate natural, commenting on Noli's fro, who's her fro again is everything, y'all. I'm just saying. They're talking about being natural, products they use, etc. That's why I so love Black and Sexy TV. This is for us, y'all. So then it's like, well, we're almost all natural is what they were saying. And then, Stacey's like, no, we're all natural. And so she takes off her head wrap and shows that she's natural. And I love her fro. I love her tight curls. I love it. So she takes it off, and, she's playing with her hair. And she's like, well, I don't look like a bush baby, do I? Yeah, Stacy. And then she says, well, this is the blackest that I've ever felt. So there's that. So after that, soul glow moment, we end up going back to Farrah's love life is the topic again, and she's sharing with them about, you know, who she's seeing, the 3 different people she's seeing, and you know, they toast to that, and they're like, go ahead girl, live your life, do you. Stacey participates in the toast, but oh my God, her facial expressions and her rolling of her eyes is like, oh my God. She kept her mouth shut, because you know she's trying to get back in with the clique, okay? She kept her mouth shut, but all her body language is saying, I am judging the fuck out of you right now. Out of all of y'all. You could just tell from her rolling of her eyes and to just, yeah, it was so funny. And Lord, when Farrah started recapping, you know, the whole bed incident where she was calling Justin Cassie and the fact that he liked it, and he was like, yeah, call me that, and Stacey, I know her blood pressure had to go through the roof, because again, she kept her mouth shut, but she was just like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Her face said it all. After that, Wendy says, you know, come on y'all, let's get together, let's take a picture. And Wendy and Stacey are still not talking directly. I think when Wendy said it was like, when was the last time we all got together? And Stacey was like, maybe when we were in Vegas. That's probably the that is the closest they got to having any kind of direct exchange with one another. So, you know, but while they're sitting there on the couch, Wendy and Stacey were both on the couch before they took the picture. Wendy's phone went off, and of course Stacey looked down. She clearly saw that it was a text message from Julian, because again, she kept her mouth shut, but judgment. And they all got together to take the picture. The message popped up on Wendy's phone from Julian. Now, I think his first message to her was something like, when am I going to be able to start earning my hugs? And then when they were taking the picture and his message popped up, he texted something like, oh, so you're going to make me beg for it, or something like that. So Wendy, like, oh my God, she made a mad rush to grab her phone from Noli because she didn't want them to see this. Now, when Wendy reacted that way to the message, y'all, now you know Wendy only reacted that way for 1 or 2 reasons, or maybe both. One, she didn't want them in her business, because she still doesn't know yet where anything is going with this whole Julian thing. She probably is still trying to sort out her feelings. Whatever she's doing, she doesn't need to do it with all the noise from her friends, with their opinions, their perspectives. She just wants it to be something that she manages as a grown woman. But the second reason she probably made that mad grab, Serena Williams stretch out to grab that phone, is that she feels stupid. That she's even talking with Julian. She knows that it's the wrong thing to be doing. She knows that it's a bad decision. And she just doesn't want her friends to know that she's just that stupid or gullible or naive. It's probably how she's feeling. And she may be feeling both of those things. And I love that scene, because I think that represents what many of us have gone through. Okay, so while you're figuring things out, you're figuring things out, and everything isn't, by the book, and everything isn't, Oprah-like, so we gotta, we go through some shit, and that's what she's going through right now. So I think a lot of it, though, is the thing about feeling very not good about the conversation with Julian. And I connect that back to the scene when she couldn't look at herself in the mirror, because this is the deal, right? And I know it maybe placing too much on the Julian, but I'm just gonna say Julian is a fuckboy, y'all. We need to accept that. He may be fine, but he's still a fuckboy. And the reality is, if Julian was not a fuckboy, then Wendy would not have ever messed around with Daryl. She would have never gotten pregnant by Daryl, and there would have never been an abortion. Now, I already know somebody watching this video is probably saying, well, she should have taken accountability and da-da-da-da. I agree with all that. But nevertheless, y'all know what's up. That's the truth, okay? So when we saw that opening scene, when she was on that bed and the pain she was in, she needs to think about that when she's thinking about dealing with this fuckboy again. I'm going to finish my drink now. So thank you for stopping by. Thank you, as always, for allowing me to have my 2 cents. And until the next time, bye.